So, I've been debating about making content around this game, Battle Nations, for a while now, and finally decided that I would. I've got some criticisms of it, and one of them is the boss that I'm about to show you. I think it's a pretty major flaw with the game at the moment, but anyway. Here it goes. Normally, you'd beat the boss with uh, something else, or than what I did, for those of you who don't know at least. But anyway, I managed to beat it with a unit that is generally considered pretty bad, though the other units that I used were all either meta or just broken. But anyway, I did it, and this is how I did it. So I went through a lot of iterations and a lot of losses. Um, the losses are definitely normal for this boss. It will happen. It'll happen a lot. It'll be because of bullshit's done most of the time. Um, but yeah, anyway, in this case, I realized that, well, obviously, the first thing is, most important unit is this one in the bottom right. It's called Trebuchet, and one of the problems with this boss is that its accessibility is largely locked behind either prestige levels, which you need to level up all the way to get, which as of the time I took this video was only 6 levels after you unlock the boss, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, now it's 15 levels afterwards. Um, it's doable without that unit, but yeah, it sucks not to have. The next one that was important for my first clear was a unit that, if you're starting playing this game, you're probably not going to be able to get for a while. And that unit was the snake. It's that helicopter thing. It's really good against this boss specifically, and was really important for high win rate clears. And for my first clear of this boss was also crucial. The third crucial units were the Nomads, which were originally a promo unit, and will likely be rebalanced at some point because they scale a lot further than they probably should. Next, less crucial, but still crucial to the clear because that's what the clear was about, was Pyro. It has really good survivability against fire damage and has good enough defense when compared to the boss's main body attacks offense, which means it can dodge, surviving longer than it normally would otherwise. Oh, it also deals fire damage, which the boss's armor is less resistant to, and because of that and its high survivability, good enough damage, that's ultimately what made this run possible. It makes it actually usable against this boss, I guess. There's also the tank killer. Damn it, that one's the one with that's the weird tank thing in the back. You basically just use that for a bit of added damage on top. I didn't keep using this. Um, I ended up swapping it out with Zoe's Trebuchet, which just deals more damage and it's more reliable survivability wise. You can find my later clears at the end. I'll talk about them then. At first, I was using tanks because I was like, well, they survive a long time. They're good against this boss. Well, specifically mega tanks in this one. Because they're good against this boss. They're used in the main strat for it. I don't really like using tanks in this game. At least not traditional ones. So, in that way, I'm kind of glad this ended up not really working out. And so I ended up having to swap them with brutalizers, which are those things with the chain heel grinder things up front of them. It was pretty fun figuring this out. A bit of it. I tried using the Chinooki at one point, which was another one of those event drops like the snake. Didn't go very well. Especially considering at this time of this video, the level cap meant that Pyro, Nomad, and it couldn't be leveled up all the way. Being able to rank up Pyro and Nomad with the future level caps definitely helped out a lot with making this strategy actually reasonable and kind of feel meaningful to actually work on. In terms of making this boss more, or not more anything really, just less shoehorned to high AP attacks like it is with the main strategy. Which, if I haven't already shown an infographic, uses veterans and mega tanks to just hope the veterans dodge the laser and hope the tanks don't get crit too much. This one kind of does the same. The main thing you're looking for is resetting if the Pyro gets hit by the slam attack, or if the radio tech gets stunned. Those are the two main things to look out for. It's definitely not reliable enough to. Definitely not reliable enough for me to suggest doing this without those higher rates unlocked at level 60. Those just do so much for it, and the strategy costs so many nanos, which are the game's premium currency. And because it uses a unit that you can't really get, or at least not reliably get, or at least not reliably get. So, yeah. I'm sure you can figure out what the problems with this boss are. Basically cost money to reasonably beat that are massive amounts of time spent in the game. Well, requires a lot of time anyway. The main used against it are event units. So the first thing I wanted to do was obviously get rid of the event unit. It's not permanently available, it's not exactly helpful to use. Another thing going into this was I wasn't allowed to use any bus drops because this game does not guarantee them at all. Or at least it doesn't as of writing this video. So the first thing I did, I swapped the snake and the tank killer for trebuchets. And unfortunately, I did not take video of this. Otherwise, you'd be seeing it on screen right now. But there will be images in during editing. This one is a lot more reasonable, obviously. Don't need to have to wait for an event to do it. Use the radio tech on the melee arm when its cooldown's done. You start by freezing the ranged arm and hit it with Raptor Toss. If it's still alive, you hit it with the Brutalizer's attack that hits all three. Then you just hit the arm with mostly Pyro and Brutalizer once the melee arm's dead. And then once the arm is down, you use the Nomad CMP. Just rotate between other attacks, mostly Pyro's flare gun. Because the trebuchets will not survive that long. They probably won't even survive the melee arm being destroyed. But yeah, my next attempt are very clear, and the one that I like a lot more because it reduced the amount of nanos needed by 140. And you just swap the brutalizers with electric fences and move the positioning around a bit. It's because the fences attack is fixed, which means you can't move it around or pick where it gets used. It's dependent on where the unit is placed. This one changes the strategy a bit, but you mostly just use the fence attacks before you use the flare gun. That's really the biggest thing that changed. The fences only need to be R1 to work. Everything else, the radio tech, probably deal with R4 if you have Pyro and Nomad at R6. I'd wait till rank 5 though. The trebuchets need to be R6 to be useful against this boss at all. And lastly, strategy I plan using gets rid of another 50 nanos by swapping the middle Pyro with another fence. I do plan on eventually, hopefully, being able to get rid of the Nomads. Because it's possible they'll be rebalanced as it was put in the notes in the game somewhere when they were given out. This does require researching Raptor Toss, which costs 40 nanos, but that's recommended anyway. It's about 4 levels of free to play leveling up because you get 10 nanos per level. So that's not too bad. Thanks for watching, kids. I will probably make more content of this game. So it'll probably be spotty and not consistent. Anyway, see you next time.